This place is one of Queensland's secret treasures. Spanning 58 kilometres, Moreton Island is the third largest sand island in the world and forms part of Australia's important Great Sandy region. Around 98% of the island is made up of protected national park, but it's the island's rich history, diverse wildlife and some of the most incredible views in Australia that make it so special. When you arrive on Moreton Island at Tangalooma, the first thing you'll see is the collection of scuttled ships.
I'm standing here at the Tangalooma wrecks. Now these old vessels behind me were all old dredges used to dig out and maintain the shipping channel behind us and also the Brisbane River. There's quite a few of them, about 20 or so, and they've been decommissioned and sunk deliberately from the 60s to the early 80s. The wrecks were originally put here to create a safe anchorage on the western beach of Moreton.
The wrecks serve as a harbour and are one of the few protected anchorages on Moreton. Although they are gradually decaying, today the enormous structures and crystal clear waters serve as a beautiful snorkelling site and home for marine life.
I'm at Cape Moreton Lighthouse, made from locally quarried stone, and when it was built in 1857, it was the only lighthouse on the entire northern coastline. In fact, this was part of New South Wales. As you can see, it was extended in 1928 for greater range of the light. In 1942, it was painted with these red bands, and that was because it became confused with the Point Lookout light on Stradbroke Island.
The island history begins hundreds of thousands of years ago with a rocky platform 40 metres below sea level. Over time, the ocean currents and winds began to build up what is known as the Dune Island Barrier, protecting Moreton Bay from the harshness of the Coral Sea.
This is a midden. There are many midden sites along the eastern beach of Moreton Island, and they consist largely of the rubbish left behind from feasting and eating of shellfish along the beaches of Moreton. What we can actually learn from these sites is really important, and that's the diet and sort of behaviour of the Indigenous people that populated Moreton. We know from the oral traditions as well as from archaeological evidence that the population was a relatively small one, and potentially it was also seasonal. Middens like this are extremely important for knowledge and also culturally. So it's crucial that people don't go walking and disturbing these sites, because you can lose valuable information, but also it's disrespectful to people that were here before us.
The desert is 1 kilometre southeast of Tangalooma Resort on Moreton Island. The bare sand dunes constantly change and are a popular activity area with sandboarders and nature lovers, but any evidence of this activity is cleared by the wind. The desert sand looks just like any white sand found on a beach, but if you scrape the surface, you can find a colourful palette of sands created by a combination of minerals and from ancient vegetation as the dune formed, from the purest white sand to the darkest blacks. Today, the desert doesn't just provide something amazing to look at, it also provides a great place to take on the steep slopes and slide down the dunes at exhilarating speeds. Moreton Island was one of Queensland's major coastal defence bases in the Second World War. The remains of military buildings, gun emplacements and forts can still be found at Cowan on the western beach and Rouse Battery on the east side of the island.
The Rouse Battery is the Second World War II battery that was put on Moreton Island or positioned on Moreton Island. It was an older style battery, so it was based on British technology, and this was actually a newer style battery which was influenced or based on the design of the American batteries. So this dates from 1943, after the war had well advanced and was now in the Pacific. This is the southern big swivel gun at the Rouse Battery. So we've basically here you've got the this bunker is where the ammunition was stored and passed through to go into the gun, to go in and be loaded into the gun. And right here is the swivel. So the gun was obviously removed after the war, but you can see the pit and the O battery or the O ring. But then you've got the whole area where the swivel and the track, the rail, and this is where this would have given this gun pretty much a 360-degree firing range. So it was pretty impressive, and you could look right out to the Pacific, down to the South Passage, and right up to the North Passage. So it was there to protect that sort of area.
A large array of bird species and marine life, such as fish, dolphins, dugong and turtles, visit the island's waters every day, and whales pass through during their annual migration. Only 2% of the island is populated with people, with Tangalooma as its only resort. This leaves 98% as national park. I think it's important to remember the environmental and cultural history that has made Moreton Island the beautiful place it is today.